is Ready Set Reiki, a podcast about Reiki, the universal energy life force. From the curious beginner to the seasoned master teacher, welcoming all systems, all lineages, and all levels. Reiki is a journey, not a destination. And on this Ready Set Reiki journey, we refer to ourselves as guides rather than hosts, as we too are traveling, supporting each other, and learning on this Reiki journey as well. And with that said, I am your guide, Tracy C. Wright. And joining me on my journey today is Nina Pressman. Now, she is the owner and founder of Energy Work Unlimited, Advanced Rapid Healing and Anti-Aging Center of Boca. Now, Nina came to the United States from the Soviet Union in 1979 after her own struggles with emotional and physical issues, weight, and trying to live up to the competitive standards of American beauty and body image. She became a personal trainer and nutrition consultant. In 2013, she graduated from Argosy University with a BA in Science of Psychology. In addition, she entered a school to learn about skin and aesthetics and completed multiple degrees in advanced skincare field. The big dream for her was to continue the understanding of self-actualization and happiness, together with expressing it outward and developing the outer beauty to match the inner beauty. With this in mind, she created the Anti-Aging Center of Boca, where a person can achieve the look he or she wants without surgery and grow into her or his awareness of how to truly be happy on the inside also. While working and building the business at Anti-Aging Center of Boca, she discovered different types of abilities of healing after successfully eliminating her own disorders, including compounded PTSD, from childhood abuse, spousal domestic violence, and the death of her soulmate, together with a generic and chronic heart disease and depression. She founded Advanced Rapid Healing, where she directly facilitates the healing of body, mind, and spirit to anyone seeking help. Recently, she started her new project, a business called Energy Work Unlimited, to empower others, to teach others how to live with no limitation and to achieve the level of self-actualization, and to bring the true understanding of unconditional self-love and to courage to love oneself. Nina, welcome to Ready, Set, Reiki.
Thank you, Tracy.
All right, let's get started. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I have a really interesting story. I started off with in Russia, well, actually in Ukraine. My mother worked for KGB, and I was raised as an asset, not as a child. I didn't understand love. I didn't know love. I went through 6 marriages, alcohol, you name it. And then I'm 61 years old now. When I was 53 years old, I had enough. And it was like, God, where are you? I was born in a family that was atheist. So I did not know anything about religion, which was great because I didn't get sidetracked, or I didn't get these views that were taught into me about God so basically I just opened myself up to the possibility that there is something else besides this reality I'm living in. And oh boy, it just started pouring in. I started asking questions. One of the biggest questions that I asked, and I suggest this to everyone: God, how do I love myself 100%? With that question, the answers were endless. Every single day of my life, everything just started changing because I started seeing the ways where love is truly inside us. So my goal became to dig in as deep as I can so I can find that love, because I realized God has given me this love. And I never knew it was there. I was looking for it outward. So then my journey began. And then I realized that I can ask God anything. Literally, if I start with God, how do I? So it became, God, how do I heal myself? God, how do I heal others? God, how do I do this? And I start getting, sorry about that. And I start getting, and I started getting all the answers I wanted. So I was born with a chronic genetic disease, which is called paroxysmal tachycardia. And it's a short in your electrical system. You can't cure it. It's a shorts that don't let your brain communicate with your heart. So the heart goes off, and I actually had several near-death experiences because of it. And I was able to remove it. And I realized there's no limitations to what you can do as long as you can grasp it in your brain. Like our brain is an AI, literally. If you want to look at it, it's so powerful. And if you can grasp it, you can do it. So I started healing myself, others, and lately I've been on a journey with I love working with PTSD. Beauty and PTSD is my two. I love beauty because I never want to get old, number one, and I want to help everyone around me never get old. And PTSD, I know it can be absolutely crippling. I lived through it. And I've been working with veterans, helping veterans with PTSD. That's outside of just working with my clients.
Beautiful, beautiful. So you are have a business. Your project is called Energy Work Unlimited to empower others and teach them how to live their life. When did this energy work come into your life?
When I was 53. That was 8 years ago. When Energy Work Unlimited, I just started 2 years ago. I'm developing it. I'm not sure exactly what it's going to be, but I actually see myself healing masses. Because if you give me 1,000 people, I can remove fear from everybody all at once. This has been really interesting what I get because I see algorithms. I literally see physics. I see programs. I see, I hear, I feel. I get words in my head. I see pictures. I see past lives. I communicate with those who passed if I need to. I get answers. I'm connected to Akashic records because I decided to make myself unlimited. That's why I call this energy work unlimited, because we are unlimited. If you see yourself as unlimited, you're unlimited. So I don't want to have any limitations, but I haven't gotten out there yet. I'm still on my way, getting where I need to be, where people can actually accept this energy, because I see people waking up every day, every single day. People that you would never even expect to wake up, because I work at my spa. And at my spa, I own a technology that actually replaces plastic surgery. I channeled it in 2018. And I work on women who never heard of this. You would think I take a regular housewife, completely doesn't, never heard of Reiki, never heard of anything. And I tell them I work with energy, and I hope you don't mind. I'm going to use the energy to help remove things that are blocking whatever. And they'll, oh, yes, please. And by the time I'm done, they get so open to it. They're like, oh my God, that was great. And they walk out not being traumatized or whatever. I pick up their parents, I pick up traumas, I pick up rape traumas from past lives, and I remove it. And it's very interesting because our body parts, in our fat, in our face, everything stores stuff. So I am literally removing not just physically things, I'm removing energies that are keeping humans contained into this shell, basically. I think that makes sense when I explain it like that.
Sure, sure. So did this energy find you, or did you find this energy?
I think it's both. I think I came here to this earth specifically with this purpose. But I had to go through what I had to go through to get to it, because what I noticed, it works like this. If you don't have trauma, if you don't have struggle, if you don't have suffering, you're not going to grow. For you to really want to push the limits, you really have to be suffering. I'm sorry, but you have to. You have to, like alcoholics, you literally have to get sick from alcohol to say, okay, enough is enough. Well, my whole life was like this. It was like I was jumping from one trauma to another, and I couldn't get out of it. And I know that I signed up for all of it just so I can learn, because I learned. But I was like, my husband calls me Energizer Bunny. It doesn't just stop going. I just get up and keep going. And that's the key. You get up and you get going. And that finally brought me to this place where, okay, I learned enough. Now what do I do with it? And boom, I got awakened.
Right.
I think we all have that. It's a matter of asking the question. It doesn't come to you when you say, okay, I'm ready. God, give me this. It doesn't work like this. It works when you say, God, how do I? God, how do I open it to it? God, how do I learn? God, how do I love?
Mm-hmm.
God, how do I grow? that's where the growth is. It has to be in that question
Right.
form.
It always
That's
seems
what I
that there
learned.
has to be a catalyst for change to
Always.
start
I
the
think our
journey.
entire life is a catalyst for change. We live in physicality. Every day you feel something that can be a catalyst.
Yeah.
It's whether you're willing to live with it or not.
Right. Right. And to
I
answer
became
the call.
unwilling. I became unwilling to live with my everyday bullcrap.
Right.
I just said, I don't want to. I want to change it.
Right. Well, in all the work that you're doing, what is a common misconception about your work?
That it's impossible. Like, how do you do it if it's not physical? But I work on people long distance. A lot of my clients, I don't even know what they look like. I feel them energetically. I see them energetically. Biggest misconception that you have to be there to touch somebody to do something. We're all connected. So there's absolutely no molecules. So
For sure.
I
It's
can
that same
affect you and you
energy.
can affect me.
Yeah, that same energy that you wish on a star, send a prayer, right? Wish on a
Yes.
penny, blow the birthday candle out. It's that same energy that
Well,
you bring forward.
exactly. And everything is law of attraction. It's so interesting because we attract what's in us. So if you're attracting something you don't like, you have to ask a question, why am I attracting this? What is it about me that I need to change? Not what is it about the other person, not what is it about the world that needs to change so that I feel better. It doesn't work like that.
Right.
It's like this. What is it about me that I need to change so I feel better about this situation? So I don't attract things I don't like. That's the key. And interesting thing, that takes courage. It's not easy to take responsibility and to admit that all your crap is yours and that not everybody else is doing it to you. It's a big step for a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's where the healing begins when
That's
you
where you
own
begin.
up to
And
it.
more vulnerable you are, more strength you have. Vulnerability is strength. I always used to feel like, oh, I have to be tough. Not,
Yeah.
no. Vulnerability is strength because that's where you see yourself. This
Right.
is when you admit your weakness and you say, okay, what can I do about this?
Right.
It takes courage, but courage is great, the right kind of courage.
Right. Yeah, very good. And you have been very vulnerable and courageous to share with our listeners some of your struggles. So, what has been the biggest challenge or struggle you faced in your healing journey?
Not getting there fast enough. I want to get there faster. I see things and I'm just one of those people. Like, I want more. I want to grow more. I just, we are going through a change in the entire earth, all the universes are going through a change right now. We are actually, from what I know, we're going to have a huge shift. We just had a huge shift, November 11th of 2023. Actually, God energy is here. We're in the second coming right now. We're in Revelations and second coming, and it's ending December 21st, 2025. So if you want to call this matrix, and I'm going to put it this way, I'm not that familiar. I mean, I know about Bible and I read some of it, but I'm not big on it. I'm not big on anything religious. But I do know that in the Bible, Abraham was having children at 600 or 900 years old, and we're dying at 90. And this is my biggest question. Why? We have the same DNA. What is the difference? The difference is that we are in the matrix, and the matrix wasn't there when Abraham was living. This was my answer. Well, this matrix is getting turned off. It was here so we can learn and grow, because without it, we couldn't expand. The whole thing was for God energy to expand. Our soul is a piece of God. Those of us who come here with souls, we experience those who don't have souls. And that's part of matrix. So now everything is shifting because we have expanded to where God energy has expanded to where evil is no longer needed. I know it sounds crazy, but we did create evil for greater good so we can grow. So evil is no longer needed. We are the place of peace. A peace is coming because now all the evil is showing itself. So this matrix is getting turned off. And now 2026 is the beginning of a new era, which I can't wait for. So my other struggle is that I want to take a huge leap and just jump in there right now. I haven't been able to do that yet. I want to jump in time.
Right.
I'm like, wait a minute, if I'm unlimited, why can't I jump in time yet? But
Sure, sure.
I
With
will.
this, yeah, with this information, what did you wish your younger self knew about your current profession?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing, because then I wouldn't have got what I got. I would have probably got a big head and telling myself, because I had to learn how not to, I had to get rid of my ego, like completely, not to feel that I'm better than, because there's no such a thing. My younger self wouldn't be able to handle it. So I believe that everything happened exactly the way it was supposed to. Even all the crap I went through,
Yeah.
it had to happen. So I become stronger, so I become tougher. We all go through that. Some of us have a little less resistance than others, but resistance is learned. The more you go through, the more you can resist. If you don't mind, I'm gonna tell about this guy that I worked on, talking about resistance. He's one of the veterans that I worked on, and he actually came to my spa. He wanted me to work on his face, and we started talking. I found out he was a POW in Vietnam. And I started asking him about his experience. Now he's 75 years old. And his experience was that he was there for a year and he escaped. And they had them tied up 18 hours a day with bamboo strings in cages in the water and let rats eat them alive. And he lived through that for a year. And his toenails grew so long that he was able to use his toenails and cut those strings, and weighing 75 pounds, he squeezed himself through the bamboo and he escaped, got found by Americans, and they raided and saved whoever they could save. But he was in the hospital for 3 years after that. And this is 30 years later, horrible PTSD, nightmares. It took me less than 2 minutes to remove it from him. He's completely off Thorazine, he's off all the medications. But that's not what I'm saying. This is the resilience. What life throws at you, you're going to overcome. We got to forget that we are, oh my God, I can't handle it. Apparently, we can handle anything. Look what he went through. What I went through is nothing comparing to this. So it's relative. Everything is relative. You have the strength when you need it. And that's how it works. And I really don't think that we sign up, because everything we go through here, this is what we sign up for. Nobody gave this to us. We chose it. So we signed up for it for a reason. So every little thing that I went through, I signed up for it.
Right. Character development.
Character development. Hell of a one, but yes, it sure does. It's either going to make you or break you.
Right. I often tell my children, now remember, this was probably the best choice when you got to choose, right?
Yeah. Sometimes you don't have a choice.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So when it's time for you to get that energetic tune up, or when you're seeking a teacher, what are some qualities that you look for in a Reiki practitioner, energy healer, or even a teacher to learn from?
I don't. I had a really interesting experience in 2018. I was learning everything I could learn. I was listening to Gaia TV. I was listening to channelers. I was just enthralled with channelers. I was listening to Abraham Hicks. I was listening to Regina Meredith. What's his name? Greg Braden, nonstop. And one day I come home from work and I can't wait to turn on my Gaia and listen. And all of a sudden, nothing comes on. Not one video, not one channel. I'll go on YouTube, same thing. I can play the music, but no videos. And by then I was already channeling from my guide. His name, I call him Anahim. He's an Anunnaki. People don't know who Anunnakis are. There's actually God's consciousness. It's an alien race. It's an ancient alien race, and it's God's consciousness. Anahim is known in Jewish religion as Elohim. Well, he's my guide. Him and Archangel Michael. Let's always stick with. So And by then I was already channeling from him, but in the shower. Like I had an ozone shower, and ozone is very high vibration. So turn the ozone, go in the ozone shower, and I could hear better. So I'm like, okay, I need to find out what's going on. And I go into the ozone and I turn it on in my shower, and I just clear my hand and I'm waiting, and I hear the voice clear as day. And it says, if you want to learn what you need to learn, you have to stop learning from humans. And that was my answer why nothing was working. Since that moment, I just start channeling. But I was also explained I need to be really careful with my intent. So I would just stick. It was a certain feeling that I would get from him and Archangel Michael. And then I just try to stick. If I need to get some other answers, now I can get answers from anywhere because I'm already a seasoned channeler when it comes to that. But when I started, that was my go-to person, being on a hymn.
Right, right. And you've built your frequency up so much that now you just go the direct source instead of, as human beings, it's not our intention, but say I lay hands on you for a session and it's being channeled through me, perhaps, unintentionally, my energy could come into it. And so that makes sense that you get to a point where I'm going to go with direct source.
Yeah, this is what I was actually told, that this is where I need to do, because I kept asking, how do I get to God as close as possible? That was my question. I know my soul is piece of God, but how do I get to God energy as close to possible, to the truth of it?
Right. And that wouldn't be by man, correct?
It wouldn't be by man. Now I'm connected 24/7. I don't need to, I live in it, and I don't know how not to. I don't know what would happen to me if I didn't feel it 24/7, because I'm not the same being, a person, whatever I am, as I was 5 years ago, even a year ago. Constantly evolving, and that's the key. Because if we want to get to enlightenment, now here's the interesting thing. I kept asking, what is enlightenment? What enlightenment is? Enlightenment actually equals unconditional self-love through God. That's it. But to get to it is not easy. It is quite difficult. From what I understand, we're all going to get to it in 2026. Those of us who keep our souls. And it's all in the intent. It is what your intent is for yourself more than for others, because if you love yourself, you're going to love others.
Absolutely.
You can't give what you don't have.
Yeah. And that's the common thread, whether it's Reiki, energy, channeling, it's all that about that intent and love. So love and service as well.
Yeah. Well, when you love, you're going to serve. When you love yourself, you can't help it. Absolutely. When you try to make yourself better through that love, when you fill yourself with God's love, it's just going to spill out of you. Running around and trying to please everybody before you do things for yourself is backwards. Being selfish is great, because it's only through being selfish that you can learn how to love yourself first. Only then you can give. Yeah. Like I said, you can't give something you don't have. And a lot of us humans don't understand this because we were taught differently.
Sure. As a society puts that label on us that we're being selfish, we're being greedy, and that's not the intent,
Well, this is only to keep us down, because it's so easy to control somebody who constantly tries to please everyone else.
Yeah.
It's impossible to control somebody who doesn't care whether they're going to please someone before they please themselves. It's all about control. Absolutely. By humans.
So what advice would you give someone who's just entering this profession of healing work?
Learn how to trust your heart. It's in the heart. Always say, God, how do I love myself 100%, and feel it in the heart. Get out of the head. Head will start talking, will start creating fears. Head will lie. Heart won't. There's a really interesting meditation that I learned a long time ago from Greg Braden. It activates gamma waves. Gamma waves is it's a brain wave, actually, that exists between your heart and your brain. So when it's activated, it heals you and it connects you to God. they found brain cells in the heart. So I'm going to tell you guys really quickly how to do this. You take your hands like this and you press right in the middle of your chest. You can try it right now. Close your eyes. Now breathe in into that spot. Press into your chest and just through your nose, breathe in really slow and breathe out really slow. And just focus the energy from your entire body in that spot, all of it. Now focus your thoughts on gratitude. Just think gratitude or unconditional love, whichever comes to you first. Appreciation is good. Those three. Now take the tip of your tongue, put it to the roof of your mouth, and breathe that in. Did you feel that?
Yes.
It takes you into this zone, and the more you practice it, 3 minutes a day. That's what's suggested. I used to do it for 7. I couldn't get enough of it. It's a certain feeling, and that's the place where you can manifest from. Because when you're feeling that, you're in the now. You're in the your authentic self in the heart, in the gamma waves. So you can say, God, I'm so grateful for my health. I'm so whatever you want in your life, bring that in into that meditation.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with our listeners.
You're welcome.
So our next question is, what books do you recommend?
Definitely Paul Selig, I Am the Word. And then he wrote 6 books, they're channeled. What I love about his books is when you read them, it puts you in that vibration. It's the messengers, they come through. They're called messengers. They are our archangels, but they're also called messengers. And they're the ones that he's been channeling. And the energy is unbelievable. That I love those. You can start with I'm the Word as the first one and go from there. It is so powerful.
Wonderful. So what other modalities do you offer?
I don't have modalities. I don't know if you can call it modalities. It's just whatever anybody needs, basically I can do. I can remove cancer. I can remove genetic diseases. Are pretty easy because I just delete. Everything is a program, basically. That's how I see it. I actually had a very interesting experience. I wish I could show this to you, a picture of this. It kind of blew my mind. I had a rash on my face, and I usually energetically just zap everything out. I try not to do any kind of physical things if I can. Of course, I use physical things, but anyway, nothing was working. So I'm like, God, please, I'm going to Google the skin conditions, diseases, and treatments. Please send me what I need and don't send me a whole bunch of products that I don't need. So Google, the picture that I got, I can actually email you a screenshot of it, it says, skin treatments, conditions, diseases, Britannica is a picture of a circuit board. I had a picture of a circuit board and I had an aha moment. Got it. Our DNA is like a circuit board, literally. When you can compare this, I was like, okay, so I just need to unplug things from a circuit board. And it worked. So that's how I learned. But it's pretty amazing when you see this circuit board. And it says, on the search, it actually says skin diseases, treatment, and it's a circuit board. That kind of stuff happens to me all the time, though, now. I'm getting used to it.
Sure. Wonderful. So do you offer classes, sessions, trainings?
Sessions, trainings privately. I have different, if anybody, this is kind of general, but if anybody has any kind of problem, like people get stuck. They want to grow, they don't know how to grow, they don't know what's holding them back. I'm really good at that. I'll find it, I'll delete it, and you can grow. anything physical, you would not believe how much our past lives can interfere with our present. So I delete the past lives, original events. Things just trickle down in the memory. It's in our nervous system. So basically, anything, if you have it, I can fix it. That's the best way to describe it. That's why I call it energy work unlimited. There's no limitations.
No limitations. Very good. Do you offer online, in person?
I do everything over the phone.
Oh, okay.
I prefer, I'm fine now. When I first started for a long time, I just didn't like to see people's faces when I'm doing it because it would sidetrack me.
Oh.
Now it doesn't because when somebody just wants to see me, that's fine because I can do it on the video. But I see better when I'm in my own space and I just don't see the person. I see everything. I get guided better. I get the person's relatives that come around sometimes. If I miss something, I get a grandmother, somebody says, well, you missed this or something. I have guides come around. I see past lives. So, and not one problem is just one thing. There's always going to be this, and that that's going to cause it. Yeah. So it's multiple, and I get all my answers. It's kind of much harder when I'm staring at the person.
Fair enough. Where can we get in touch with you if we want to book a session with you?
You can get me at energyworkunlimited@gmail.com or call me directly or send me a text at 561-654-0177.
All right, perfect. Well, Nina, this ends the first part of our journey, and I'm going to continue on with the journey with you with 3 social media questions. So listeners send in the questions, and I narrow it down to 3. So here we go. Question number 1. As the founder of the Anti-Aging Center of Boca, Advanced Rapid Healing, what kind of legacy do you hope to leave with your work?
I want a person to literally find the love for the inner self together. This is why I involve beauty with this, because looking great out starts on the inside. So I want to leave the legacy of being completely unlimited, not just energetically, but physically also, because we don't have to age. I want people to learn that we really don't have to age. I know this on my personal self. I aged backwards. I'm 61, and I know I don't look 61, but I look at myself in a mirror and I like, okay, yes, I have equipment, but the equipment didn't do it. It was the focus of the energy. So we can do this. So that would be the legacy. I want people to be able to sit and just to be able to take control of their body, their mind, their soul, and make out of it what they want their life to be, the way they want to look, the way they want to feel, all at once. I want to develop that technique. That's the legacy.
Wonderful. Sounds like a wonderful legacy. So question number 2, how can quantum energy help heal?
Well, we are made out of quantum energy. So when you want to heal, that energy that you felt when you were meditating, that's quantum energy. We're creating it. Our thoughts, our perceptions are creating the energy, but we're also made out of energy. That's where the quantum comes in. So once you figure this out, it's not that hard. This is the energy that comes into me, and this is what the energy that I want to be changed into. So you can create your own quantum field, and you can actually heal yourself. Probably I'm trying to explain it like in a really quick steps, but that's the basis of it.
Right, very good. Question number 3. How can energy work help veterans who are suffering from PTSD?
PTSD is programs of memories. And these memories, they like play like records. If they are, if you imagine a computer and you just put in floppy disks in there that playing CDs, that's what's going on in the veterans' heads, basically. So again, same thing, deleting those CDs, deleting those memories relieves all PTSD, because if the original event and the memories don't exist, there is nothing to affect them. And I found something very interesting. Everybody who's gone to war, whether it was Vietnam War or was Afghanistan War or any other wars, there is a war energy. It's an evil, harsh, hard energy that makes people suffer. And deleting that also gives them freedom, because it's almost like being imprisoned in that you don't realize. You think, okay, I love the war. The war is over. It's not. It's inside, because once you've been there, it's infected you. It's like a virus. So it's like deleting a virus,
Wonderful. Thank you for
basically.
sharing that. So that is our third question. And as we've been talking, is there anything else you would like to share, or something that you might have forgotten that you would like our listeners to know?
I don't know, but for some reason I'm getting that somebody's interested, as a question about dogs. Yes, I guess the question is, if I can heal dogs? Yes, I heal and I can communicate with animals. But somebody was just asking me, I don't know, maybe one of your future listeners was asking me
Sure,
if I work on
possibly.
dogs.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's what I got. It was an answer. And our dogs are animals that travel with us through lifetimes, and there's absolutely no mistake. So if your animal seems familiar to you, this is your animal it was probably your animal before. I have
Love
5 dogs and 3 of them are reincarnated.
it.
I know that for a fact.
I have 5 dogs as well. Love it. So
Maybe it was one of your dogs trying to talk to me. I don't know, because
maybe, maybe,
I
maybe
have
they're in
animals
here.
try talking to me all the time.
They are very good, very good. Yeah, maybe that was their question. So, well, thank you, Nina, so much for joining me on this journey, taking time out of your busy schedule. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Thank you,
Oh,
Tracy.
wonderful. All right, my wonderful listeners, thank you so much. If you would like your question featured on Ready Set Reiki, just reach out, www.readysetreiki.com, or find me on social media. Also, check out Feather Sister Wellness, an online platform and in person in the El Paso area, where there's an offering of yoga trainings, Reiki, and Reiki trainings. My name's Tracy Seawright, and this has been Ready Set Reiki.